guys, welcome back. I'm Lacey with A&B Insurance, and this is Carl Weiss. He is the leader of Working the Web to Win. We are always together doing these really awesome compilations about insurance.
Yeah, plus I'm one of your customers, too.
Plus you're one of our best customers, so we'll put that out there. Today we want to talk to you guys about car insurance, just your standard auto policies that every driver has in the state of Florida.
Well, you know, it's funny, because when you think about it, it's like four policies in one, right? Because of all the different kinds of coverage that you actually get.
It can be, yes,
with
absolutely.
an insurance policy. We're going to talk about some of those things? Because I'd like to know how it works.
Sure.
You know, all I do is write the check.
Right. So the auto insurance does cover lots of different areas of insurance. So it's going to cover your personal injury protection, which is medical protection for you if you're injured in a wreck. Property damage, so if you damage someone else's vehicle or someone else's property, like their home, or you crash into like their boat, God forbid. You
I try not to do that.
Yeah, no hitting boats. You also have your liability coverage, so if you're liable for anything during the accident, it will pay your coverage out for that. And then you also have towing and rental coverage, which are really beneficial to an auto policy. If you break down on the side of the road, not only do you need someone to get you off the road, you need something else to drive while your vehicle is being repaired. So.
Yeah, absolutely. But like I said, most people don't realize how all the components work together. They just send in the check or put in their credit card, and then they complain because the prices go up. Why do the prices rise on insurance coverage with autos?
Well, prices are rising due to several different factors. One of them is that vehicles cost more nowadays to make repairs.
Go, yeah.
That's one of the biggest ones. And the other biggest one is attorneys' fees aren't getting any cheaper. In all honest actuality, as long as they are charging higher money for their work and going after more money from the insurance company, the rates are going to be impacted to recoup those losses.
Now, plus, of course, in this area, because we're in the middle of summer now, so every day it rains. And I mean, if you have never been to Florida when it rains, you don't know what it's like. It's like you're in a car wash with hundreds of your best friends going 80 miles an hour down the interstate, and you can barely see past the end of the hood of the car.
Right. And it can be very difficult to see during those really heavy downpours. So you always want to make sure that you have the coverage that you need.
That also works too. There's gap insurance if you have a new vehicle, because what most people don't realize is the minute they roll their car from the dealer's lot onto the street, it's already lost several $1,000s.
Right.
And if you went around the next corner and wrapped yourself around a telephone pole or something because you weren't used to driving that car,
right,
you wouldn't be able to get enough money back to buy a new car again. Exactly.
And gap insurance can be very important if you're purchasing a brand new vehicle. That is very, very important to have. Most we recommend usually is looking at gap at the same time you start your actual auto insurance coverage. That way you don't have any missing time between the day you start your auto and the day you start your gap. So.
Yeah, and also it can work, because I know I've got it on mine because I lease a car. So
right.
I'm basically driving a car that's only a 3 years old before it goes back to the dealer. And that's when you want gap, because gap you don't have to keep gap forever.
Right. You can drop that once you feel comfortable with the estimated value of your vehicle and the estimated insured value of your vehicle.
Which is usually about, 3-4 years before you get to that point?
It can be. There's several determining factors when it comes to that. There are some insurance companies that will insure you for what's called an agreed cost value, basically where you and the company come to an agreement that this is exactly how much your car is worth at this policy period, and you pay a premium rate based on that amount. So if anything happens, that is the maximum amount that they will pay you out for your vehicle.
Yeah. In fact, let's talk about something, because that's the thing. When you talk to somebody like you or Diane or anybody at A&B Insurance, you're recommending different coverage levels, because it's not like one size fits all.
Correct.
By any means. So how do you figure out if you've got enough coverage?
When it comes to the value of the vehicle, we always work with the client to see if it's being financed. And if it's being financed, your finance company is going to require that you have comprehensive and collision insurance coverage to cover you in the event of either a direct collision or an indirect collision. That way, if the vehicle becomes total, your insurance will actually pay to cover the vehicle for you.
Sure.
So we do determine that, and there are other lifestyle factors that we determine as well. Another thing that's really important, a lot of people don't think about, is if you have a lot of assets, say if you're a property investor or a business owner, someone who has a lot of assets, I would definitely recommend doing higher limits of bodily injury and property damage coverage. If you don't have enough bodily injury or property damage coverage in the event of an accident, and an attorney determines that the damages or injuries you've caused are more than your limits, they can legally go after all of your assets after that. So we do take the time to determine what coverage is best for you for your lifestyle change or your actual lifestyle. And we always recommend higher limits for our investors, business owners. Minimum, I would say, would be 100,000, 300,000, but 300,000, 500,000 to be safe, because you can never really determine how much injuries are going to cost to another party in an auto accident.
That's true. That's true. Because like you said, it doesn't have to do with the liability. Just the cost of medical coverage can be astronomical.
Absolutely. With the way that medical costs have gone up, attorneys' fees have gone up, everything will cost more as the future goes on. But these coverages are generally very cheap to purchase. I actually recently added uninsured motorist coverage to my new policy with Progressive, and it was only about $25 for the year to add 10,000, 20,000. I'm sorry, for the 6 months to add 10,000, 25,000 onto my policy.
Sure, sure. Well, and the thing is, nobody wants to pay more than they have to, but I know one of the other things that you folks are really good at, because you helped me out with that, is finding discounts, finding ways to save money without watering down the coverage. Can you tell some of the viewers some of the things they can do?
We have a lot of different discounts that we offer for. We do have a homeowner's discount, which in some cases can be up to 8 to 12% of the premium. We have a continuous coverage discount for our new clients. If you currently have coverage with another carrier, our carriers do provide, and it can be up to 20% for continuous coverage discount onto your policy.
Right.
We have safe driver discounts. If you go 3 years, 5 years, 10 years without accidents, without claims, we have a lot of different discounts. There's so many to name, but across our various carriers, we do have multiple discounts that nearly everyone will qualify for at least one.
How about things like, let's say someone takes a defensive driving course. Does that help them get a discount?
It does. It actually gives you a credit towards your policy. It's not necessarily a percentage. They do give you a credit for most of our carriers. So having that NSD discount can be really great.
Yeah, one of the other discounts that I always take advantage of is instead of paying it monthly, you can pay like every 6 months or even yearly, and that'll save you some money too.
Pay in full discount can make a huge difference.
Yeah.
I actually spoke to a client yesterday. His 6-month premium was around $1,400, and if he paid the premium in full, it went down to about $1,100.
Wow.
So it was big discount for him to do that.
Yeah, I always take advantage of that. So, and you can do it for a year too, right? That would even be more.
Some auto insurance do offer annual policies, and yes, it's also a very large discount when you do that as well.
Cool. We'll have to look into that because I'm getting ready to renew next month.
Yeah, absolutely. Other payment discounts you can get are electronic funds transfer discounts, basically where we draft your payment from your checking or savings account on the same day every month. And it goes the same with debit and credit cards. You can get a discount for having that automatic draft every month. That can be a pretty good discount, sometimes anywhere between 7 and 15%.
Yeah, that's definitely nothing to sneeze at. Because like I said, nowadays the cost of a car is what my parents paid for a house,
Right.
a few decades ago, and they're not getting any cheaper. So that's one of the main reasons why the insurance has gone so high. Because even if you go back, you go back, 10, 15 years ago, what was the average cost of a car back then? About half of what it is
less
today.
of what it is today.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because today I say, people say that you're driving a car. So I'm not driving a car. I'm driving a computer with 4 tires and a steering wheel and an engine.
Right. A $40,000 Mercedes in 2005 compared to a $40,000 Mercedes today is a big difference.
They make $40,000 Mercedes?
Difference. Right? Maybe the base model. No GPS, Flintstone style.
Yeah, well, like I said, what's amazing to me is how complicated auto insurance has become. Because like I said, most people, they really don't think about all the variables that they come into play until they need it.
Right.
And that's one of the reasons why, because and I'm not going to name names, but I was actually with another insurance carrier for like 20-some years. But it got to the point where it was like every time I would renew, every 6 months, it would be going up and up. So finally I just said, you know what? Loyalty only gets you so far. I'm going to shop it. I gave you a call, and I know that your company works with, like 90 different insurance carriers?
Over 90 different carriers,
And you've got like a database that you can just plug all the variables in, and it spits out what's the best deal from the best carrier. And I switched, and I've been with you ever since.
Yep, and we save you that time when that 6-month renewal comes up. We actually get a notice in the system about 60 days ahead of time that your renewal is coming up and how much it's going to be. So if it is significantly or even just a little bit higher than what you're currently paying, we're going to go ahead and put your information back into the system and shop it through our different carriers and see if anyone is providing a better rate for you. So you don't have to get on the phone and make those calls, to go online and put your information in and take a guess and then maybe pay a higher payment next month than they said. We're going to do all of that for you.
Yeah, that's great. And how often do you think people should have their, auto insurance assessed?
Every renewal term.
Okay.
Absolutely. Also, the state of Florida does keep your driving record, and a lot of insurance companies in Florida base your tickets and accidents history on the last 3 to 5 years. So if you have a ticket or an accident coming up in that time period, also give us a call and we can shop it midterm and see if we have something better with that ticket coming off.
Okay, I just thought of one other thing too, because I know that this has really helped me a lot because I have a very high credit rating. Credit ratings also factor into the cost of auto insurance. In fact, pretty much all insurance carriers.
Very true. Insurance companies actually operate on a different credit rating system, and it's very similar to the ones that we use for your normal credit rating basis. So they actually have their own insurance credit rating score, and it's really fun. You can find it on Credit Karma. If you use Credit Karma, they have a section for your automobile, and it will actually tell you what your insurance credit score rating is. And it goes, the way that they determine that score is the same way they determine your credit score. How many on-time payments you've made, how many late payments you made, how many times you've canceled for non-payment, how long you've kept policies in a policy period. So it's basically your credit rating for the insurance company in the same way it would be for a credit card.
Yeah, well, and if you don't have the time to do all this research, I can tell you who you can call to find out.
Give us a call anytime. We can break it down for you, and we can show you exactly how to get on that Credit Karma section and help watch your score just like you would your normal credit score.